So good morning or good evening if you're in Turkey. And I'm Todd Trichler, and my guest today is Emrah Mete, a winner in our SQL category for the Oracle Database Developer Choice Awards, or for short, the Devies. So congratulations, Emrah. Just super excited about interviewing you, and thank you for all of your contributions. I know you've been very prolific, very active in the Turkish community in terms of giving back to your local Turkish Oracle community there. And you got out to Oracle Open Worlds for the in-presence for the Devies there, so it was nice to meet you in person. You've obviously been around the Oracle database for a while and worked with several different projects. What are some of the most interesting projects that you've worked on in terms of using the database?
Since I started learn programming, I have developed plenty of projects. But I can say that the most important and the special one was my university graduation project, and I use it to Oracle database too. The project was called iris recognition. I could match the instantly taken iris photographs with the iris samples in the database, and thereby detecting the person to whom the iris belonged.
Full-on facial recognition with the iris, with
yes.
the eyes. And I assume you're using the functionality that they built out of NEDC with the visual integration there. What actually did you do with it?
This project is related to lots of technologies integrated, databases and the image recognition and the image processing and the digital image processing. Very lots of technologies integrated with this project. This project is very special because of my graduation project. This project,
they got you to pass.
yes. I used this project put a lot of pressure on my shoulders because very difficult project. However, it provided me with a great opportunity to come up with something useful.
And how did you pick that project? Did you just say, oh, this is a great idea? Or did a professor say, actually, our airport want to have a scanner? And
All my professors and other academicians staff, they liked and appreciate to me. Because it was so difficult project to implement.
So I can only imagine the amount of detail that you must have gone to actually do that. So congratulations. I think if it had been me, I would have picked an easier topic for my final project.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What is some of your favorite features with the Oracle database? I know that you've been blogging about temporal validity, and you're also blogging about some other features in 12c. What would you say your favorite ones are from a developer's perspective?
Oracle 12c has brought along a lot of new features. And I'm a developer, I had the opportunity to take a glance at these innovations. Among these features, my favorites are JSON support, pattern matching, and the integration of the in-memory option into the database. These are very cool and terrific. And besides, I find the new SQL and the PL/SQL based features quite functional and useful too. Those are awesome.
Excellent. And which particular ones do you like on the SQL and PL/SQL features that you were talking about?
JSON support and maybe top enquiries, approx distinct counts, the new keyword, those are very useful and functional thing for the developers.
Excellent. When you're doing your work, what are some of your favorite tools to work with? Like, what do you use every day? Do you use a text editor? What do you use?
The technologies I employed doing a job alter according to characteristic of my job at hand. For example, if I am engaged with the operational stuff in the database, which I can refer as developing SQL or PL/SQL, I mostly use Toad. However, these days very useful innovations and improvements emerge on the products Oracle SQL developer.
Yes.
Therefore, I could say I'm also working on Oracle SQL Developer nowadays because very functional and useful interviews and the features in have. And the other sites, if I'm developing something ETL or ELT based jobs, this is a core responsibility of me because I'm a ETL or ELT developer, the professional. I prefer using the Oracle Data Integrator.
ODI, okay.
Yes, ODI.
And so you like that? That's functional. It works for you? Is that what you use typically on a day-to-day basis when you're doing ETL?
Yes, I have been using the ODI for many years, and it's very useful. And especially 12C version of the ODI is pretty cool.
You're probably not old enough yet, but do you remember Oracle Warehouse Builder? Did you actually work with that in terms of...
Yes, I remember the Oracle Warehouse Builder, but Oracle don't support.
No, it's moved on. Yeah, that's, I was just checking to see how long you've been involved in ETL.
Yes. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to implement any ETL jobs on the Oracle Warehouse Builder.
Yeah,
so
well, it's not even supported now. ODI is definitely the right way to go.
Yes, yes.
Great.
It's very cool.
So, you know, you told us a little bit of how, you know, your final project, you obviously studied computer science or information systems in college because your final project was a very extensive one.
Yes, thank you.
Did you always think, oh, I'm going to become a programmer, or did you just, in college, you obviously had that in mind? And then when you did your project, how did you select Oracle as being the basis there?
I tell something about my story, my programming story. I have been writing code about more than 10 years. When I was in high school, I started to learn programming with Pascal and C. Maybe you know Pascal.
Yeah, Pascal, yeah.
Yes. And then during my university period, I have been involved with programming, especially with Java.
Okay.
Yes, when I was third year of university, I acquainted with database technologies and decided to learn Oracle concept. First of all, I spent my energy to learn Oracle's database architecture. That's cool. I just bought some books regard to learn the fundamental items about Oracle database architecture. And after that, I started to learn SQL and PL/SQL for working on data effectively. During this period, I strongly used Stephen Feuerstein books, such as Oracle PL/SQL programming and Oracle PL/SQL best practices, my favorite one.
Yeah.
His books have helped me a lot this period.
Yeah.
This period, and then when I graduated to university, I already decided to what I want to be. I had wanted to work with large volume of data using Oracle technologies. Since that time, I have continued work with large data using the Oracle technology.
Okay, and you hope you don't mind me saying this. You were a little saying that, excuse my English on the interview and I said, don't worry about it because your English is, you know, way better than my Turkish, which, you know, given the fact that I can't say a word of Turkish, isn't very difficult. But
thank you very much.
You know, really people care more about the developer content, and as part of the process when we did the Oracle Database Developer Choice Awards, we had a panel of 5 Oracle ACE directors and Oracle development guys that actually sifted through the initial nominations and said, okay, here is the short list of people that actually know what they're talking about, and this is, you know, who will be on the short list for the people that can go through to the public voting phase.
Yes.
So, you know, and it was interesting because, you know, I had privies to the various, that we had 5 different categories, and in the SQL category, you know, we had this discussion going on with the guys, and most of them were in the ACE program, and they were saying, well, I can see that this Emrah guy has really contributed a lot, but it's all in Turkish. And and I don't, you know, and I don't know whether it's good or bad, you know, and so it's difficult for me to push him through. So I'm not going to push him through. And then Gurkan, who is Turkish and is an Oracle ACE director, they contacted him and said, "Hey, can you take a look at this?" And Gurkan, of course, said, "Well, I know the guy, and his work is really, really good, and he's very active." And so a couple of them said, "Well, I'm changing my mind on that. So and I'm putting Emrah through to the shortlist." So and the exact same conversation happened with Cyan as well, who's of course in the Russian community. And so the interesting thing that I found about it, that I learned about that, is that both of you guys nearly didn't make the shortlist to go through to the public voting. And then once, you know, people had said, yeah, okay, these guys do know what they're talking about, you actually went through and won. You two were two of the top vote getters when it came to the public voting side of it. So, you know, to me, what I took away from that was, well, here's guys that absolutely know what they're talking about, that do a really good job of servicing their local community.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Very active in their local community and their local language. But the people that we know as experts didn't necessarily know them because they weren't engaged necessarily at a global scale. So, you know, and some of you contribute in the OTN discussion forums and that, but, you know, if English isn't your first language, the OTN discussion forums primarily are English. Yes. So, you know, the question is, you know, how do you get around that? I mean, what, in your words, what, you know, how's that experience for you?
Well, great. As you said, English is not a first language, but I know English. It's very clear. But Turkish Oracle professionals and in the Turkish community, English is not well-known language in the Turkey. But
so you would be the exception then. Most of the Turkish Oracle professionals probably wouldn't have as good a grasp with English as you.
Yes. This is my motivation is writing in Turkish because of this.
Excellent.
English content is much more related to Oracle, but Turkish content is not enough yet. Because of this, my first motivation for the writing blog in Turkish, because of this Turkish blogs followed by the lots of Turkish professionals, and they always ask me lots of questions about the Oracle. And the local community is follows me much more time. And the second thing I would like to say that I have been writing blog both English and Turkish.
Yes.
Both English and Turkish, and more than 5 years.
Yes.
But the well-known part of is Turkish one because of the Turkish community.
Yes.
Turkish community needs to lots of Oracle-related articles in Turkish. This is a very important thing of me because this is my first motivation.
Yes.
And the Turkish community always supported me, and they vote me, and they always
they came through in numbers.
they wrote such a kind of very beautiful, very good thing, and they always supported me. It's gorgeous for me, and I would like to say thank you via this record. Thank you very much for my supporters in the local community and the abroad community.
If there's something that I could add, is like I can only imagine a young developer starting out. He's just trying to get the grasp of the Oracle technology. And if his English isn't that good, most of the documentation is in, you know, English or, you know, and so your, you know, starter type content and, you know, blogs in his own language must really, really be a huge help, or her language if it's a lady starting out. You know, so thanks again just for all of that help, and super appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Emrah, I just super appreciate all of your contributions. I wish I knew Turkish so I could appreciate them more, but I only have a smattering of languages, and that isn't one of them. So, but I do appreciate just the extra effort that you put in to make it. It's and that's what I always say is it's really the people that know their stuff. You know, developers care more about content, you know, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And congratulations again on winning in the SQL category along with science. And shortly after that, you were finally acknowledged as an Oracle Ace, which
Thank you.
You've been doing the work of an Oracle Ace for several years. Congratulations on that too.
Thank you very much.